Faced with the biggest cuts in living standards for generations, and the most inept and corrupt government in modern times, workers in their millions are about to take action or preparing to take action to defend their livelihoods. Socialists need to appreciate the full significance of this movement because it is on a scale that will have such profound significance for political developments in the next few years. Rail workers have been the vanguard, and as the RMT reports, over 2/3 of the population support them. The union cites an opinion poll which found that 70% of the public believe that rail workers should have negotiated pay that takes into account the costs of living, whilst just 11% disagree. While the Tories are proposing new laws allowing agency scab labour to break strikes, the same poll shows that 59% believe rail workers have the right to strike if negotiations fail. Following the RMT lead, millions of other workers are either balloting or preparing to ballot to take industrial action. CWU members in Royal Mail, teachers and health workers are coming into line next. Local government workers and civil servants too will be reluctant to accept a real-term pay cut in their living standards and years of enforced pay restraint. Meanwhile, university and college lecturers in the UCU, along with postgraduate students on zero-hour contracts, are engaged in the longest-running dispute in history. The growing determination of workers to fight to defend their living standards will have a profound significance in the future, although we should never underestimate the importance of providing leadership to workers in struggle. At this stage in the development of the organised working class, the mass shift in consciousness among the rank and file is a factor of decisive importance. Although the numerical strength of the trade union movement is not as great as it is in the past, it is fast increasing as traditional trade unions and newer unions make roads into the gig economy, cleaning and other previously unorganised sectors. The groundswell of confidence and determination to struggle is remarkable. And although at this stage, the growing militancy is reflected only in the industrial sphere, at a later stage, the fight of the working class will switch towards the political plane. What the right-wing leaders of some unions have never understood, and the right-wing leaders of the Labour Party less so, is that they cannot stand against the tide of historic and economic development. Even some lefts abandoning the Labour Party because of the unconstitutional organisational manoeuvres of the right wing have failed to understand truly what the shift in the rank and file of the Labour movement really represents. It is an ongoing process that started before Jeremy Corbyn, and it is continuing today. The movement that coalesced around Corbyn from 2015 to 2019 was not a one-off event, a once-in-a-lifetime process, but merely the first stirrings of a political giant awakening from its slumber. It was the outward form of that movement, around Corbyn himself, that was a historical accident, ironically in which the Labour right let him in, but not the actual process itself. The old mole of revolution has been burrowing away for some time, and occasionally, as we see it at present, the evidence of the tunnelling is all too visible. For all of Starmer's determination to hold the line against strikes, insisting that MPs should not appear on RMT picket lines, the overwhelming sympathies of Labour and trade union members are in support of rail workers. Starmer has been forced to back down from threats of sanctioning those MPs who appeared on picket lines. The economic imperative of squeezed living standards is forcing a change in attitudes among millions of workers that had not been foreseen by the right wing, isolated as they are in their parliamentary bubble. As the by-election in Wakefield has shown, Starmer is virtually an irrelevance to the political processes at work today. And it will be despite him. And it will be despite him that the Tories look like being thrown out at the next election. If and when that happens, there'll be a huge wave of expectation riding on the Labour Party. And it'll be at that point that the Keir Starmers of the party will be swamped by a rising tide of radical demand. There is a long way to go in the development of a genuine mass movement, especially for socialist change. But today and tomorrow and next week, there is every reason to be more than optimistic about that prospect.